Hey there, folks. Got a quick safety briefing for you regarding connecting the power versus connecting the tow bar upon arrival of the aircraft. So I know a lot of you crews are doing the turns out there, and you're going to bring the plane in, you're going to chalk it, and then you're going to hook the tow bar up. We're finding that some people are hooking the tow bar up first before the power. The actual procedure is supposed to have the power hooked up first before you even hook up the tow bar. For one, the Clyde tow bars are too big. They're very heavy, they're cumbersome, they get in your way. Somebody can trip over that before that actual power is hooked up. So that power needs to be hooked up before you do anything. So connecting the ground power to the aircraft upon arrival before connecting the tow bar is essential for several reasons. First and foremost, the ground power supply provides a stable and reliable source of electricity to the aircraft. So and also the aircraft system. So you got the lights, the avionics, the climate control on board. Otherwise it's going to be relying on the onboard batteries. So we want you to hook up the ground power first, and then you can hook up the tow bar after to make sure that that is hooked up and the power is on, so you get the thumbs up from the captain and everything. So please make sure that the tow bar is not the first thing that you hook up before the ground power. And the second thing is we're hearing stories about some recent things with after you are doing a pushback. Some of the pushback drivers are saying that some of the assists or the wing walkers are disconnecting the headset before he's even giving the signal to the right wing walker. So the right wing walker is going to come in, he's going to disconnect the tow bar, he's going to pull out that bypass pin. What he has to do is focus on that pushback driver, and when that pushback driver is clear to disconnect from the captain, so he's communicating with the captain, so that captain is telling him that, okay, everything's good, you are okay to disconnect now. So make sure that you get that signal from that pushback driver, because that is essential, because if you disconnect the headset first without even communicating, without that pushback driver communicating with that captain, there could be issues where the plane, he can't move, he needs to get towed back into a gate. So please make sure at all times you disconnect the tow bar, you wait for the signal that the brakes are set from the pushback driver, disconnect the tow bar, pull out the bypass pin, and then look at your pushback driver and make sure that you are actually physically seeing that signal from that pushback driver to disconnect the corded headset, and then close the panel if there is, on the 3.7 on the side, and then on an Airbus underneath. So make sure that you are communicating with him. We've been hearing stories that some of the people have been just disconnecting it without getting the signal. So please make sure that you are getting that signal from that pushback driver that's okay to disconnect the headsets.
As I indicated in the promo, Denise and I are working on a couple of long-term projects. The first one is called VSR, and that's Vehicle Service Roadways. Over the summer, it was recommended that Phoenix begin planning the addition of some traffic controls rather than the chaos we have on the ramp. So the idea that they're looking at is some east to west roadways that cross the alleys. One of my big takeaways from this particular project is the fact that they're going to shave 12 feet off of the Charlie taxi line and pretty well put it on the north end of our ramp. So they're going to move the zipper line 12 feet to the north. That's going to give us a little bit more room to help with some of the traffic chaos that we have out there. So as we get some updates on that, we're still in the very early planning stages of that. As we get those updates, we'll let you know. Second one we're working on right now is continuing conversations about jet wake, jet blast, as it's commonly known, but jet wake is the industry standard parlance. Of course, I have a big report here on my desk that I put together about a month ago. If you want to read it, sitting here on my desk in the safety office, in the union office, you're welcome to come leaf through it if you like. My big takeaways from yesterday's conversation, which included folks from safety systems, policies and procedures, those are the guys that write the ROM, and the chief pilot here in Phoenix was part of that conversation. It was a very good open conversation, and there's a lot of moving parts to this. One of my takeaways from that was from the chief pilot. She mentioned that you're probably going to see a lot more single engine taxis out there. This does present some ideas about what that's going to mean as far as jet wake is concerned in our environment. But it's like I said, it's an open conversation, and it sounds like everybody that was on the call is willing to work through the problems here. One of the other things that it looks like we're getting closer to get is establishing two-way communication between the control center and inbound airplanes, or at least having the ability to establish communications. Right now, inbound airplanes are controlled through Arabon, and it's an automated system that doesn't allow for actual voice communication. So that may help alleviate some of those issues as well. We'll keep you updated as that continues. Like I said, it was a good conversation. I have some follow-up conversations with the folks that write the ROM, as well as another discussion I'm going to have with the chief pilot here in the next couple of days, so that we can just talk this problem out and see if we can make it so that we're all safer and, things are better, and that's what we can hope for, is things to be better. That's all I've got as far as the projects are concerned. Some of the short-term stuff we're working on, my notes are up here. Ordered 12 potable water ladders, because I know those are somewhat deficient out ramp side. So we've got a dozen of those coming here before too long. Too long. And working on expanding the T-point at Express so that we're not having to haul bags to the piers before noon while the induction belt system is not operating. Also, going to try to resume blowing out the piers once a month. That kind of fell by the wayside when some other projects came along for the folks that do that. So that should be starting up before too long. Working at some paint refresh as far as that's concerned, and some new furniture for the break rooms has been on our short list for a little while now. So anyway, that's what we're working on at Safety right now. Questions, comments, down in the doobly-doo. Hit us up on the hotline if you need anything. When Denise and I are here, we're also on Teams, and we try to monitor the radio channels when we can, at least the ramp radio channels. So if you need us, give us a shout. We'll come a running, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.